That belongs in a museum.
Is a card that's usually seen in aggressive decks, or even combo-oriented decks. War doesn't exactly have a lot of ways to combo. I think if you look at Leroy, one of the only ways you can truly buff it is Rampage, and I don't see that in the deck list. So a very interesting choice indeed. I think it's because George is anticipating a lot of control decks, and while tempo decks are great at punishing decks that draw a little bit too slow, a little bit too awkwardly, sometimes there's almost nothing you can do because your opponent outmuscles you. And Leroy might just be the extra gas to put you over the hump.
You know, Dan, we were talking earlier about the fact that I've never seen a Tuskar Totemic give anything other than Totem Golem. There's the Searing Totem. I said it didn't happen.
Yeah, specifically you said, I've never seen it give Searing Totem.
I'm so sorry, Loyan. This is,
yeah.
I did this.
And you cursed him as such. George, by the way, not having weapons, not having much to do except play the Fierce Monkey. Loyan also had a very interesting choice. So he's saying, I'm going to make sure that you don't get the draw unless I'm really sure that I have a strong board ahead of time. So now, like, for example, even if he attacks into it, he has a Taunt Totem, he still can't get the Battle Rage, even if he was able to attack with the weapon. And he's still choosing not to.
I was going to say, why not take off the armor there? That does legitimately confuse me, because you could just bring him down to 30, and that's not something I have any experience with. I get not wanting to activate Battle Rage, but not attacking for the 2 armor.
So, yes, I could put you to the edge, but I still won't even necessarily be able to attack you. So I think he's saying I want to go for more commanding board position before I push into it, because they can force the issue. They can just like put the weapon, you know, even sometimes buff minions and then try to attack into it. So I don't necessarily hate the play, but I am a little bit interested by that as well.
Right, worth bringing up, we see 2 Battle Rages now in the hand of George C, and those are dead cards. No damage minions, his hero has not been damaged, so forced to just throw down the Acolyte, really the only play he had available. Maybe use that second Execute, but he's already used the 1, and you see that giant 7/7 on the board. That's an interesting call from Loyan if he just chooses to put the 7 into there. Will be executable now. Yeah.
Based off his previous trends, he hasn't been attacking, and you can just like look at it and be like, well, he's missed around 6 damage by now. Maybe he would have an ability to draw deeper into the deck, answer the board a little bit more effectively. As a result, snowball the board.
Right, and George C now forced to forego Karen. Just can't leave that 7/6 up. Just wouldn't make any sense in the world, but plays down the Armor Smith, uses his second Execute. So from here on out, Loyan knows what this deck is, has seen the deck list as other players have, so doesn't need to really play around Brawl. Has a lot of totems on board heading into the Thunderbolt Valiant turn next turn.
Yeah, and a large reason stems from George not having a lot of early minion curve. He drew both Executes and Leroy. He didn't have weapons. He didn't have any of his Bloodhoof Braves to really bully the Shaman board. And this is one of those really awkward situations too. On Loyan's end, he missed another Flame Juggler on a minion, and he really wanted that to land. Chooses not to attack the phase, nor choose to hit the Armor Smith.
That Karen off the board, don't have to worry about him getting value from it, because the rest of George C's hand is incredibly clunky right now.
Yeah, I agree. You can debate whether or not you want to hero power. If you choose to hero power, that means your board is full, and that gives you less flexibility of playing stuff. He also only has 1 Primal Fusion in the deck, so it's not like having a board full of totems guarantees him to play something the following turn and draw. By the way, Serpently Murgleton, if it gets Life Tap, is absolutely game-changing at this point, because it seems like Loyan's taken the slow road, and he's gotten the Life Tap!
That is exactly what he needed. The rest of his hand was pretty poor, but has the ability to start drawing a bunch of cards now, and Loyan has 7 minions on the board, but it's not necessarily the 7 most powerful minions on the board, 4 of which being totems.
Yeah. That's a pretty good card, though, the Mantide Totem. I see your Life Tap, and I raise you a free one every single turn.
Right, like the old Michael Jordan, anything you can do, I can do better commercials there. Both players have a lot of card draw now. They're going to be getting a lot of resources.
That was pre-recorded.
What?
The Michael Jordan Mia Hamm commercial.
No, that was not, Dan, but I knew you would appreciate it.
I'm not trying to shatter your childhood illusions, Rob. But
I had a McDonald's reference later, but I don't think I'm going to end up using it now.
They don't sponsor HCT, at least not yet.
That's fair.
Slam to draw a card. If he picks a Whirlwind, that'd be nice. Malkarok for a weapon. Draws a Gore Howl! Are you serious?
That is...
Wow.
So, that is really good, but at the same time, with 4 totems down, obviously one of which is Manatide.
There's nothing better, though, Rob. Actually, the only thing
Doomhammer.
Very bad spot, despite having good outcome on his Malkarok.
Yeah, and despite having Life Tap, too, that just goes to show you how far behind he is in this particular matchup.
I mean, the Battle Rages here are very nice. I almost anticipate that if he doesn't draw something very good soon, the game is just over. But he does end up picking some really powerful cards. Okay, so it's a brand new game. Having Harrison and Rag is very decent if your opponent picks up the Doom Hammer, but Harrison on this Gore Howl is just devastating.
Yeah, we see George C kind of give a little shake of his head. That is really bad for him. Yeah, the Gore Howl would have given him some much-needed value to keep clearing this board. Yeah, yes, we do see that that Taunt Totem has just remained in play, but we're going to see a free thing from below, and there is no Brawl in this deck. Loyan's aware of that. You can just keep playing, overreaching as far as you want, and forcing the Warrior to have answers to the situation.
Might be one of those times where you just pray for Rag to hit the right outcome here. Everything else feels a little bit awkward. He does pick up a Fiery War Axe, which improves his odds of sniping a 5-attack minion. And if you can't snipe a 5-attack minion, Manti Totem is also an eligible candidate for death.
I was going to say, there's I think like 3 outcomes.
Nope.
Yeah, that was not one of the good ones.
Right.
No, what that? Oh, and another free thing from below, but Thunder Bluff Valiant. He's going to have to trade in something, I believe.
Yeah, you just trade in Harrison, so that way you hero power.
Yeah.
Get the effective trade there.
And
he's feeling himself right now. Normally you see players really take their time to evaluate plays, but it's been generally straightforward from this point on. Loyan just keeps pressing in his board control. Manti Totem drawing a lot of cards. And, I mean, George really doesn't have answers. Minions are too late.
No, Loyan's board in Sweet Sweater game is too much for George C, so George C going to go ahead and concede this one, and we're going to have a tie game.
I'm feeling Loyan.